we had a heterodyne. Now, what's a heterodyne? Then you're thinking, Joe, what is a heterodyne, man? All right, I know you know what it is, believe me. And maybe you don't know exactly that this is the scientific word for it, but when we dive into it here in just a moment, you're going to say, oh, wow, now I know exactly what it is, okay? Now, once KLM lines up and calls ready for takeoff, and Pan Am is still taxiing down the runway, something interesting happens. A heterodyne. What? What does that mean? I'm going to tell you right now. You see, KLM calls Tower, says, hey, we're ready for takeoff. And Tower says, stand by, I will call you. Now, at the same time that Tower is transmitting for them to stand by for takeoff, Pan Am is also transmitting. And what happens in your experience when two aircraft transmit at the same time? You end up with a garbled noise, almost a squeal in your headset. Sound familiar? That you are hearing, the scientific word for that is a heterodyne. And if you don't believe me, go look it up. I promise you, that is called a heterodyne. That noise that you hear in your headset, the garbled noise when two transmissions happen on the same open frequency, is known as a heterodyne. And that was a piece of the puzzle, or a piece in the accident chain. That was certainly a link in the chain in this unfortunate accident on Los Rodeos Airport. See, basically what happens is, as the tower is calling them to stand by for takeoff, Pan Am is also calling to advise that they are still on the active runway. And as a result of that, the KLM cockpit really hears nothing other than garbled noise due to both transmissions happening at the same time on the open frequency. And then they hear the word takeoff in the KLM cockpit. So they hear nothing but garbled noise followed by the word takeoff. Right? So if you take a look at this ICAO document right behind myself here, ICAO document 4444, illustrates various phraseology, different ways that the tower is actually going to call you in preparation for departure. See the difference there? These are ways that they would actually advise preparation for departure, and we're using the word departure now because no clearance has actually been given for takeoff. Now, as you see, once the takeoff clearance is issued, we change phraseology from the word departure into the word takeoff. And now we actually say, hey, call sign, right? One step prep one, runway number, clear for takeoff. Or perhaps maybe we give traffic information. One step prep one, you have traffic, company traffic on a 5-mile final, runway 10 left, clear for takeoff, okay? The use of the word takeoff shall only be utilized on a frequency when a clearance is actually being given. But if we're actually being advised to hold short, stand by for departure, maybe you're calling tower, hey, we're ready for departure, remember that until a clearance has been given, the word to be used is departure. Now, this potentially could have saved this entire thing. And we talked about resource management here, and we're looking now at the communications aspect of it. Think about something as simple as this, having saved potentially all of the lives that were involved in this very, very unfortunate accident. Okay, think about this. If Tower would have said, Roger, stand by for departure, potentially what would have been heard in the KLM cockpit is the word departure, thereby signaling to them that no clearance has actually been given because of the use of the word departure as opposed to takeoff.